talk about topic 5.7. I believe we are in Explain to Example 2b. Okay, so we just learned that in order to undo a cubed root, we need to cube both sides. So I'm going to start by cubing both sides. And this one is quite ugly. The cube and the cube root cancel, so we've got x minus 5. Cube means I have to write it 3 times. Okay. So if I'm going to write it 3 times, I'm going to start by foiling these two together. So we're going to put those two together first. I'm keeping the x minus 5. I'm going to foil in here, and I'm going to drop down this x plus 1. Okay? So x times x would be x squared. X times 1 would be 1x. I have another 1 times x, so that would be 1x. And 1x plus 1x would be 2x in the middle. And then I've got 1 times 1, which would be 1. Now I need to multiply this half here, or the binomial times the trinomial, so I'm going to get out the box. Okay, my binomial is going to go down the side, my trinomial is going to go on top. So that's what just made this one a little bit messier. We're reviewing a lot of good algebra skills. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1 is 1x, or just x. 1 times x squared is x squared. 1 times 2x is 2x, and 1 times 1 is 1. We're going to add our diagonals, is typically where our like terms are. So I'm writing down x cubed. I'm adding 1x squared plus 2x squared is 3x squared. 2x plus 1x is 3x, and finally just a 1 at the end. Okay. Now, I need to get this equal to 0 in order to solve it. Even though it's a cubic instead of a squared, we're going to get it equal to 0. That's how we solve polynomials. So I'm going to move the x by subtracting. So that would give me x cubed plus 3x squared. 3x minus x is 2x. And I'm going to move the 5 by adding. So that's going to give me a 6. Now, we look for, first of all, greatest common factor. Don't have it. I do, however, have 4 terms, so that means I'm going to factor by grouping. So I'm going to use a little squiggle line. Out of this first group, I'm going to take out an x squared, which leaves an x plus 3 behind when I divide out an x squared. Out of the second group, I'm going to take out a plus 2. That when I divide the 2 out, it's going to leave me with x plus 3. And what do you know? I have the same ugly greatest common factor. I'm going to bring that out front. When I bring that out front, I'm allowed to write it down 1 time. So I get x plus 3. And then an x squared plus 2 is left behind. I'm going to use zero product property because I can't factor anymore. So I'm going to say x plus 3 equals 0 and x squared plus 2 equals 0. I'm going to move the 3 by subtracting, so I get x equal to negative 3. I'm going to move the 2 by subtracting. So I get x squared equals negative 2, and then I'm going to take the square root, and I know when I take this square root, I can't get any real solutions off this, so that one's going to be extraneous. So we're not plucking our eyes out. I really should check the negative 3. I'd probably go all the way back to this original right here and check it in that. Let's see if I can zoom out a bit. So I'm going cubed root of negative 3 minus 5 equals negative 3 plus 1. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 2. Cubed root of negative 8 is negative 2. So this checks out. So that is a good answer.